Leila Agora. She's a student of mine. She's in my African American history. Actually, 3 of them are students in my African American history class. Leila is a, this is your, what semester? First, second semester Tunxis. She's majoring in general studies. She's an accomplished artist. Next to her is Brandi D'Amato. This is her first semester at Tunxis. She transferred from Central and majoring in general studies. Okay. Daniel Maya, next to her. I think they're sort of come together. Because I recruited them at the same time. I saw them in the courtyard. Daniel is, what semester? How, second semester? And he's majoring in business administration. And on the outside there is Chris Doherty. Chris is in his first year here, and he's majoring in general studies as well. Okay, so yeah, just pass the mic back and forth until we get 2 functioning mics. And they're very nervous, by the way. I should tell you that. Brandi said, "Why are we taping this?" Because we tape everything at Tunxis, and it goes on YouTube, so you're going to be famous. You wouldn't have done it. Actually, what I assure them that there are no trick questions. There are no traps awaiting them. I simply ask them very broad, very general questions, and they get to talk as much as they want to. And I hope that's a lot. So, Leila, let's start with you. Tell us about yourself, and tell us why you're at Tunxis, and tell us whether you have experienced difficulties or have felt accepted at Tunxis. Your father is from Yemen, is that right? Yeah. And your mother is from Puerto Rico, which makes you multiply diverse, as nearly as I can tell. Just talk about yourself a little bit.
I'm in Tunxis because I eventually wanted to transfer to a Columbia school and become an art therapist. I particularly like Tunxis because coming from Southington, there wasn't really a lot of people of color, so I felt at times I could be maybe targeted, or people of color could be targeted. And I feel like in Tunxis, professors and other students are surrounded by other diverse people, so they sort of have to learn to be more accepting. And I really like Tunxis, and I sort of found my place here, and it's going to be sad leaving to look forward to school. I'm happy I'm here.
That's interesting. Did you feel like you were targeted in your high school experience? I'm not asking you to pick on any particular high school.
Maybe that's not the right word, like not to an extent, but I feel like people are more likely to make generalizations because, not because they're bad or not because they're mean, but just because they aren't exposed to different kinds of people, so they don't really know what to expect.
Brandi, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm from Cheshire, and I came to Tunxis because I went to Central originally, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I figured I wanted to be an ultrasound and X-ray technician, so I figured if I come here, I could do all my general classes, and then take the proper courses. But I don't know, I kind of want to go back to Central. Here, I feel like nobody would.
Talk, say it.
Growing up like in Cheshire, like kind of what she said, I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm Italian, and I'm not like color, but like growing up with around all white people, and I came here, I kind of felt the same because like that's the majority of my classes, and I don't know, like it's kind of like hard to fit in here, I think, for me.
You found it difficult to find a place here?
Yeah, it's like
Okay. Well, you got a good friend then. Daniel, talk about yourself. Oh, use the other mic. I think that's probably working better. Oh, you got to speak into the mic. Get up close. Is it on?
You must not check you. If that's
technology malfunction. Speak out.
Well, yeah, this is my second
Talk loud.
semester at Tunxis. I started college originally in 2013. I was in state, but I didn't really feel it, so I decided that I would help out. And then I decided I was going to come back to school. I tried out a couple different schools. I just thought Tunxis.
Talk into the mic.
I'm sorry.
The mic. Put it right up next to your mouth.
Well, I tried out a couple of different schools, and I thought something was a good fit. It was like accepting, they got healthcare, and they have training for the classes. Like teachers are more outgoing. I feel like university.
Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Waterbury.
Chris.
I am Chris. Others may know me as Lizzie. I am transgendered. And what's it been like at Tunxis is that at first I was angry and bitter because it happens every year at a new school. I go to a new place, meet new people, and I feel like I'm going to be excluded. Like I'm just going to be rejected because of who I am. But then I discovered actually a group of LGBT pro community people within the school, and not just them, but other people too, have been very accepting of me and very tolerant of me, surprisingly. Because at my past two schools, because I changed mid-year, they were not the best people, accepting-wise. They were very malicious about me. They just were not very accepting. So what's it like been at Tunxis is very pleasant. I really feel like I'm accepted in my group that I hang out with, my people around me, my peers, and I just feel comfortable, and it's a really nice, refreshing change. I'm from Southington, and growing up there, being trans, well, many people know, so I can't really say, but within my family, it's a little rocky. I deal with it.
Well, just a question.
Oh.
You said you dealt with it.
Yes.
And when you were in Union, you said you've been to a couple different schools, a couple different colleges?
No, 2 different high schools.
Okay. And in both places you found yourself?
Ridiculed and just rejected.
Okay. I think that that's not an uncommon high school experience for anybody.
Oh, definitely.
And, yeah, it sort of goes with the character. Okay. Let's see. Brandi. Okay. You're the one who said that you hadn't made a lot of friends here.
Yeah.
Is that sort of a function of the nature of the community?
Not really. I'm just a quiet person. I usually stay to myself, so it's not really anybody here. But they're all like polite people, and I could tell like that they're very accepting here at this community. Because like at Central, it was all cliques. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a big high school, like down.
It was Central was a big house.
Well, I mean, it seemed like it with all the cliques or whatever. But I noticed here, it's like everybody's kind of one.
Let's see. Chris, you mentioned the club.
Yes.
Yeah.
The GSA, while I'm not a part of that club because my schedule doesn't fit in, I do mingle with the people in the club and who associate themselves with the club. But the one club I am in is Video Game Club, which actually has some of the LGBT pro people in it. So,
You play the games.
yes, video games.
Daniel, do you belong to any clubs here at Tunxis?
I just signed up for the Christian club.
Okay. That the Rosalie Peon is the advisor to that. That's a very big club.
I don't know. Honestly, I just got the email, but I signed up.
Okay.
And I need to get into church.
Okay. You do go to church?
Well, I used to when I was younger, but
Okay.
you know, you get older.
Okay. Brandi, no clubs?
No.
How about you, Leila?
Go for a friend.
How do you interact with the rest of the community then? I mean, you're out and about, you're in classes. You have friends,
Well, I take 6 classes, and I spread out my schedule so that I have a lot of time to study. So I do like interacting with the people here, but I just don't have the time to make friends because I'm either at class or I'm studying in the library. But I feel like the community overall, they're more accepting and nice to talk to, and if I had the time, I would definitely make a lot more friends.
You gonna take 6 courses next semester?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You're an ambitious one. What courses are you taking?
I'm taking African American history, composition 2, drawing 2, sociology, abnormal psych, and I don't know if that was 6, there might be one more. Probability and statistics in the lab.
Well, that's certainly an easy course load. Brandi, how many courses are you taking?
5, I think.
5, okay. Daniel, you taking 5? You're taking 2. Chris?
I'm taking 2 as well.
Okay. Okay. Do you find the fact that Tunxis is a commuter institution? In other words, we don't have dorms. You can't live on campus. I guess you could, but no one does. You find that that's an impediment to making relationships? Yeah, any of you? Yeah, all of you answered. Start with Chris, and then we'll come down.
Personally, I have been to a boarding school. While the people here, it would be a relief to dorm with them, to know like the people I've met are around me. I don't think I'm ready personally for a dorming experience again, but it doesn't affect it really.
You feel like you have ample opportunity to know people and make friends.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm only taking 2 courses. I'm here till 9 to 2 or 2:30. So I have a good hour and a half of free time that I get to communicate with people and just talk.
Your 2 courses are 9 credits in total?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Daniel? The question immediately is whether Tunxis being a commuter institution hinders or interferes with the ability to make lasting relationships.
No, not really. I don't think it is. I mean, a lot of people hang out on the cafeteria and the library, so I feel like there's enough time where you have to meet people and to interact with people that come here. So.
And Brandi, you sort of already answered it, but
I think it does kind of interfere with it because when I lived in the dorms, you had like a whole bunch of team building activity type things. Like essentially, it was like each dorm building was like, well, I was the Bobcats, and like each one had a mascot, and we all just kind of went against each other in games.
so intramural sporting events and stuff like that?
Yeah, it kind of like brought a lot of people together, like a lot of people together. And here's kind of just like, I don't know, I'm either in the library or in class, and it's like, I don't really get an opportunity to talk to people.
Okay, well, that's endemic to the institution, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nature of community colleges, but yeah, thanks. Leila.
I think pretty much similar to what she was saying, but I also think that dorming with people, it can also lead to conflict because when you live with a group of people, you're sort of stuck with them. And I think there's a time and a place to make friends later on when I go into a four-year institution, so I'm not really too down about it.
Every year at some point during this presentation, I put in my plug for the clubs at Tunxis. We have a lot of them. You've heard Chris talk about the, well, he's not a member, but he's a member of the gaming club, the LGBT club. What's it called? Got Pride, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And let's see. We have, and Daniel, for you, we have a business club. Think about that too. I'm one of the advisors to the student newspaper, which just put out an edition that arrived last week. Another excellent edition. I can encourage you to join that. I think they meet Wednesdays at 3, usually, and I'm often there. But they're doing quite a good job. All kinds of clubs, just an opportunity to sort of broaden yourself. and to diversify your experiences. And it doesn't doesn't hurt when you put it on a transfer application to remember these various clubs. I think it's interesting that diversity comes in a variety of sizes and shapes, and you can see it here. Leila, I have to say, you're the only Yemeni Puerto Rican I know. That's an unusual blend. How did your parents come together?
They met at a Super Bowl party in Connecticut because my mom moved to the United States to get an education that she got scholarship from UConn, and my dad left when he was 8 because of political conflict in his country as a refugee. So they've been living in Connecticut for a long time when they met.
Okay. And then Brandi, you're Puerto Rican and Italian. How did that happen?
My mom's Puerto Rican, my dad's Italian. I think they met at UConn.
Okay. So they were college sweethearts. Is that what it was?
I don't think my mom went to college. I think she worked at UConn.
Oh, she worked at UConn.
Like in the lab in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And my dad was like studying to be a doctor, so I think that's where they met.
Okay. But yeah, it's interesting the flavor of diversity. We have, and Daniel, you are
African American and Portuguese.
in Portuguese. Yeah. How did that happen?
High school, my parents.
Okay. And Chris, you are you're
I'm a mutt.
You're a white guy, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm actually a blend of a lot of different things. I don't know what things because I'm adopted, but I am a mutt.
That's another diverse
Yes.
element. And my son is adopted too.
It's always good to adopt to give someone a chance.
Yes, that's right. Have you found that your previous life experiences have shaped your ability to succeed at Tunxis?
Oh, so very much. I give all my credit to who I am today, to my first girlfriend and my best friend still. She really pulled me together and taught me like who I am and who I have to be, that I can't just go around being a jerk, and that I gotta try. And so definitely my past experiences have led me to start trying harder.
Okay. How about you, Daniel? You has life prior to Tunxis toughened you up, or helped you to make the necessary adjustments when you move from one environment to another?
Yeah, it did, because when I was going to the university, I didn't have to pay.
Okay. You got to pay here.
At Tunxis, I have to pay, so.
Okay. Brandi.
I think that, yeah, it's kind of the case because I grew up in Chester. Like I said, then I just went to school in New Britain. It was like a big change, but it kind of like made me open my eyes to the way the world was, like in a whole different perspective.
New Britain will toughen you out. It will.
Yeah.
That's pretty clear. Leila, you grew up in
Southington?
Southington. You said that.
I think it definitely changed me because I felt a little different being there. So it taught me to have more empathy for people that feel like they don't fit in or appear that as not fitting in.
Has there been any time at Tunxis, and I'm ask all of you to respond to this, when you have felt uncomfortable, or you have felt isolated, or felt like you might be discriminated against?
Actually, no, and that was a really pleasant surprise coming here, because I thought since Tunxis was closed, it would be very similar to my high school experience, and that it wouldn't be a very diverse place. But it's a lot better here, and I don't ever feel like any professor or any person would pick on me or sort of make a false assumption based on how I look or because I'm different from someone else.
Okay. Brandi, have you? You talked a little bit about the difference between Central and Tunxis, but you ever felt picked on, discriminated against, left out here?
No, never.
Never. Not even once. Okay. Daniel?
But I did think that my African American history teacher was gonna be black.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I was a little shocked.
Your African American history teacher sometimes wishes he were, because in that way he would have lived experience to rely on instead of what I read in books. Were you disappointed? No, you can say that. He's a good teacher. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Chris.
No, besides now? No. But I've never felt really, at the beginning I did. I was a little edgy with being like who I am and coming out to people, but then, as I said, I met my friends and yeah, I just felt comfortable ever since.
Okay. I'd like it at this point, if I could, to ask you guys if you have anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to contribute. Anybody? Seth, you start. This is Seth Freitag. He's a former student of mine.
I guess the thing with me personally is I'm not the same age as a lot of people that go here. Most people come right after high school. I took 9 years after I graduated to start college, so I'm going to be 29 in a couple weeks. And coming here, I was nervous because I haven't done school in so long. Will I find people I can associate with, socialize with? Will I find friends? And I did. I met my first friend, Michelle, who she's now at Hampshire College, and she's wonderful. I met Nora the next semester after. And I feel like Tunxis it is what you make of it. There are plenty of clubs here. There are plenty of opportunities to meet people. And then the professors are always great to introduce you to other people and to network and things like that.
Well, I should also mention that Seth, 2 years ago, I think it was, won the award for best essay in composition courses.
Yeah, I have an essay.
And that was, as I recall, that was about, in an unusual sort of way, about the process of making friends, right? It was about.
Yeah, it was using, so my very first semester I took Composition 1, and as everyone who is taking Composition 1, you have to write essays, and we wrote them on social media. I think we still do it. And my essay on using social media as a way to bring, I want to say, like outcasts, just people who are just kind of niche of niche people together online or in other ways. It ended up being published in BAB, and it was selected as the best essay from Comp 1, and my mind was blown because it's been 10 years since I've written anything, and I was a terrible high school student. So.
Well, you're a good college student. I can tell you that. And again, this is Peter Spano was just here. He wandered away. Another way that diversity impacts the life of community colleges, we have students of all ages. I passed Jeanette Bladchuk, who was in her 80s this morning in the hallway. She's taken several courses. She's a corker, a very good student, and a nice person. But I think, didn't she graduate last May, I believe? I think she did, but she's still taking courses. Age is a diversity factor as well. So, and Peter, who I just mentioned, Peter received an award, I think, the Spirit Tunxis Award at commencement recently, and he's in his 80s.
He'll be 90 next week.
Yes, he's in his 80s. I'm right. He'll be 90 next week, and then he's a treasure to have here. Anybody else want to have questions or want to offer any commentary or insight? I can start picking on people. Gary, let me take this off so I can walk back.
Do you want me to come up?
No, I can't. Or come on up. Yeah, that way Mike can get you on camera.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Carrie Beckford. I am a faculty member in the Humanities Department. I teach composition. This is my class. Chris is my student. And Seth, we taught. Is that this is him. So it's always very cool to meet authors. I want to invite all of you, particularly the panelists, to join our new student club. We are new this year, and Kelly Pittman is in the back. She is our co-advisor, and the club is called the Students of Color Alliance, SOCA for short. Not just if you are a person of color, but if you're interested in diversity, interested in exploring unity issues. We are meeting this semester the first and third Tuesdays of the month at 2:30. Come and see me. I'll put your name on the list, and we're just a growing club and getting to know each other. But clubs are an excellent way to get to know people. So please do join us, and not just for everybody on the panel, but for everybody here.
So you interested in signing up?
Yeah.
Do you have time?
If I have time, but it's pretty spread out, my Tuesday and Thursday schedule, so I think I definitely will. That seems very interesting.
Something that appeals to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're a good writer, so you could join the newspaper club too. Interested in joining?
Yeah, I'd be interested in joining. Is there food?
You do have food?
Not yet, but we could.
Okay.
Well, email me when you have food.
Yeah, I think it would be something that I'll be interested in. I don't really know a lot about the university, so.
Okay.
I'd be very interested in joining, except Tuesdays and Thursdays. D&D is Tuesday, and I have other medical things on Thursdays, so maybe next semester, maybe if I could schedule properly.
I want to raise a question that maybe doesn't affect any of you individually, but it's something that I've become acutely aware of. And it's the issue for community college students of food insecurity. Now that's translated, that means you don't have enough to eat. You have to, and go to school, income just doesn't permit it. Are you aware, is that an issue for any people you know at Tunxis? Chris?
Yes, well, it's not necessarily a too little food to too little money thing.
Yeah.
It sometimes applies to me too. There is enough food. At the CAF, there's plenty of pizza, which is delicious, by the way. Love it. And there is plenty of food, as far as I know, so I think it's just more of a money thing.
Yeah, that's the other side of this. You don't have enough money to buy what you need to eat.
Yeah.
Some colleges in the system have open food pantries.
Oh, that's actually really helpful.
Okay. Daniel, do you know of anyone who has experienced firsthand this inability to?
No, not really, but I wouldn't mind a meal plan.
You wouldn't mind a meal plan? Okay. Okay.
Might be something new for community college. Got a cab.
Okay, thanks. Brandi, any reflections on food insecurity?
Kinda like on Thursdays, I'm here from 1 all the way till 9:30. I kinda get hungry, but I don't ever want to spend money.
Okay. Well, is that a matter of personal choice or
Yeah, it's
a
definitely
matter of
personal.
necessity? Okay. Yeah, this is something that has, I've been thinking about a lot because I'm a member of an organization, the Community College Governance Assembly, and I wasn't aware of the dimensions of the difficulty until I started talking to my colleagues from Manchester and Norwalk and Gateway and Naugatuck, and where there is a concern there. So, well,
I don't really know anyone who's come out and said that they were particularly struggling, but I do hear a lot about people at Tunxis who have to go straight from class to work and miss class so that they can go to work, and you can see that it really takes a toll on them, and it gets in the way of their grades and being successful in school because whether they want the money or need the money, they have to be at their job.
I have to tell you, I made a special trip to the cafeteria this morning and secured their commitment to save me a corned beef and cabbage lunch. Sits there waiting for me as soon as we finish here. But, maybe that's why the food was on. Let's talk about another issue that's unique to community colleges, and that's transportation. Do you have trouble getting to college? The day of your class? You have a car? Do you drive?
I have a car, but I'm not necessarily the best driver, so that
Neither am I.
could be, yeah, that could be problematic. But I'm getting better at driving and not being nervous on the road. So
Take the bus?
no, I'm pretty lucky, and my family's well off enough that I can have a car. I helped pay for it, but I wouldn't be able to keep it if it weren't for my parents.
I had a car until last week. And I totaled it, so, you know. Yeah, Brandi, do you drive to school or do you take a bus?
I have a car, but it's older than me. It kind of sucks. It was in the shop all week this week, so it's like unreliable.
You have to get rides with friends?
No, it's my mom's car.
Oh, your mom's car, okay.
She was homesick, luckily, but not.
Okay. Daniel, you drive?
Well, I don't have a car, I told mine too, but
You
gives me rides home sometimes. She complains, so it's a hassle sometimes.
Okay, so there's a difficulty getting to class sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you consider taking the bus?
I never took the bus before, but I would consider it. I signed up for that thing that they had in the lobby, that was it called New Ride or something?
Yeah, okay.
I don't drive, hopefully never will. Hate driving, scares me to death. But I have my mom drive me every morning a little early after my little brother gets dropped off. So it's a little bit of a hassle for her, I think. I hope not, but yeah, I don't drive yet.
I was, what put that in my mind is a couple of days ago, the president of the State College and University System, Martin Jakin, was here. And he talked about work that they're doing to try to, State Department of Transportation, to try to align bus schedules with zip codes and students so that the bus will become perhaps a more viable means of transportation than it is now. Our buses, I think the last bus comes at 7:50 in the evening, and obviously our classes, some of them don't end until after 9. I'm going to pick on somebody else. Edit. Come on. I told you I was going to do this. This is going to have a. This is for you, those of you who don't know her. This is Edith Waterman. Edith is Hungarian, and she's taking African American history, and I think she's actually taking it for the best of all possible reasons because she's interested. But talk about yourself.
Hello, I'm from Hungary. I live in America probably for 10 years now, so it's been a while, and I attend Tunxis probably forever because I only have time for about 2-3 courses a semester, but hopefully next semester I will be graduating. Other than that,
What do you want to do after you graduate?
that's a very good question.
Okay.
I'm 30 years old and I still don't know what I want to do,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, I'm getting ready to retire, and I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do. So,
Yeah, that's a big problem in my agenda to figure it out.
okay. And how did you come to the United States?
Well, I wanted to acquire better English because in Hungary, I couldn't get a better job because I couldn't speak the language. I had all the exams and everything, but I couldn't really speak well. And then I came here, I met my husband, and that's history.
How many children do you have?
2,
Okay.
but they are stepchildren.
They're what?
Step.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They live with us, so I
That's-
raised them since they are 2 and 3.
Once again, another form of diversity.
Yeah.
A mom who goes to school. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's not easy for sure.
I speak of one of our my former colleagues, who was the chair of the Technology Studies Department, and I guess Math, Science, and Technology Studies, and was briefly acting dean at Tunxis, a man named Scott Speaker, once said that the typical Tunxis student is an exception. And I like that a lot. I think
Yeah, I can definitely see how diverse Tunxis is and professors professors are awesome.
Yeah.
I never felt different or they told me or anything, and the students are great too.
And you got an A in composition? Two. Comp two. So.
Yeah, I had the best professor.
Yeah, there you
What
should.
can you do?
Of course you did. Okay. Favorite course? What do you like? What's your favorite course? Art?
Well, African American
African-American
history.
yes, okay, we'll exclude that. Okay, your second favorite course?
I guess it's sort of hard to pick because there's different variables, like whether the way the professor teaches and how interesting the material is. But I have to say it'd be either abnormal psych or one of my drawing classes, just because I find both of them equally interesting and fun to learn about.
Brandi, what's your favorite course?
Other than African American history,
They're well trained, aren't they?
honestly, I can't even. Navy photography.
Okay. An artsy course, yeah, okay, good. Daniel, something in the business area?
Yeah, my business law class was kind of the career I wanted.
Okay.
More interesting.
And Chris?
Psychology would definitely be my favorite course. Anything within the psychology range. Definitely my last semester psychology class was my favorite class I've taken so far.
What do you want to do when you finish Tunxis?
I definitely want to be either a elementary school guidance counselor or I want to work with the elderly.
That's quite a range there.
Yeah, I don't
The
like
young or the
teaching
old?
adults. Sorry.
You're not comfortable with middle-aged people?
Or teens.
Or teens? Well,
Most of the time.
I've often thought that the worst job in the world would be middle school math teacher.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, okay. Daniel, what do you want to do ultimately?
I don't know yet either. Somewhere in the business law field. I don't know.
Okay. But you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
This is your second semester? Brandi, you said you wanted to be.
Either ultrasound or X-ray technician.
Where would you go to school after Tunxis to do that?
I think Lincoln College has those programs.
Okay. And then Southern? Lincoln, you said?
Yeah.
That's in Southern. Okay.
I'd like to become an art therapist, so when I leave Tunxis, hopefully I'd be able to transfer the Albertus Magnus.
Albertus Magnus. Okay. Okay. And Brandi, you want to go back to Central? Is that maybe? Okay. And Daniel, any idea where you might like to transfer after Tunxis? I'll give.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get a new college after this.
Okay. Chris, any?
I have really no clue what I'm going to do after Tunxis or near the finish of Tunxis. I just don't know.
Here's an option. I'm not
Go for it.
shilling for anybody's institution in particular, but there's a degree. So a couple of my colleagues at Tunxis actually have their degree in this. There's a Bachelor in General Studies at UConn, and you can take up to 90 credits at community college, and then you would transfer to one of the branch campuses, probably in Hartford or something, or Waterbury.
I was thinking of UConn. UConn would definitely be my one option, kind of like Tunxis was my one option. I'm kind of a straightforward person, so it's this or nothing. So
Okay.
I think UConn would be best bet.
This is a hard question. I'm going to ask each to answer.
Oh, well.
What's the worst thing you found at Tunxis?
Gum under the tables.
That's not bad, is it? That's not on the scale of bad things. That's
Yeah.
not right up there.
Probably me last semester with my courses.
Really?
I slacked with one of my courses, and I inevitably failed it, so I had to retake it. That was probably the worst experience I've had in Tunxis so far.
Okay. Daniel, what's been the downside to Tunxis?
But when I do drive, I can never find a park every time.
Yeah.
I have to go to class, so I have to spend like the extra 20 minutes trying to find a park.
Is that why you're always late now?
Yeah.
Brandi, what's the downside for you? If there is one.
I was gonna say parking, but I guess the downside is I live alone.
A lot of homework.
Yeah, I've never like experienced this much.
More than at Central?
Yeah, a lot.
Really?
I barely my homework. I didn't even have finals or midterms at Central.
Wow.
I know.
You can go back there then.
Honestly, I just want to go back there and live on campus, not even for the school itself.
Okay.
I just hate living at home.
Okay. Leila, what's been
One of the most challenging things is that each professor, even if they teach in a similar field or even the same class, they teach differently, and some are a lot harder than others. But I don't really have too much of a complaint about it, because it seems like a lot of the teachers that demand a lot of work, they sort of give back the same amount of work. Like if I have professors that will demand longer papers and are more critical of the papers, but they'll correct it faster, and they'll be more likely to talk you through it and work with you.
one of the things that we educators talk about a lot is student learning styles. And I have a way of teaching, and I'm not sure that I know it doesn't accommodate everybody's learning style. I know no teacher can guarantee to have a mode of instruction that meets the needs of every student in the class, so we try to. How would you describe yourself as a learner? How do you learn? You're an artist. You're interested in art. Do you learn visually, or?
Yeah, pictures do help, definitely. I guess I'm not really too picky about the way the information's presented to me, as long as it's clear and consistent.
Okay, Brandi, what kind of learner are you?
I'm kind of a learn by doing type person. I was always good at science. And
Hands-on?
Yeah, experiments.
Okay.
I'm more of a listener.
Okay.
When I'm paying attention.
That was me too. Chris? Because this is another type of diversity, the diversity of learning styles.
I learn by doing stuff and by seeing, by really interacting with things.
I have to tell you this story about myself. It wasn't until after I left graduate school that I stopped learning the way that I had always done it, which is whenever I read a chapter in a book, at the end of the chapter, I sit down and I do an outline of it. And it never occurred to me that there was any other way to learn than that. And I was shocked to realize that not everybody did that. To me it was sort of the eye-hand thing. I think just the writing down the outline fixed into my head. And I hadn't realized that about myself as being unusual or different than everybody else. But yeah, the learning styles are a difficult thing to come to. Do you feel like your instructors attempt to accommodate your learning style?
Well, I don't know, because I learned very specifically, because I actually went to a school for people with learning disabilities or differences, and I have ADHD and ADD and some, I think, dyslexia. So there they tried to accommodate to everyone, but I don't really remember how well they did. But here, I feel like they try and be general and broad about it. Like, they try to encompass everything, a little part of everything.
Okay. Yeah. Daniel, do you find that your instructors teach to your learning style?
Not really, because everybody has their different types of learning. I mean, I'm teaching, but I never had a problem if I didn't understand something. I could just go to the professor and explain it.
Yeah, and we're always available. Usually available. Yeah, do you have trouble finding your instructors after class?
No.
Okay.
They normally always email me back with too, so.
I feel like in all my courses, each professor teaches differently, so it's hard to really say, but it's kind of effective.
Okay. But you don't have any difficulty learning according to the style that any particular instructor uses in the classroom. That's, as you know, I lecture. That's pretty much what I do. Leila.
I don't think I've had any big issues. I think teachers are gonna sort of teach the way they teach, or the way that they feel is best. I find in college I've done a lot better because I put more responsibility on myself if I didn't know something to make it my responsibility to figure it out. And I do a lot of self-teaching and studying and ask a lot of questions.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. That's certainly true. Does anybody out there have a question you'd like to ask? Something you would like to reflect on, or something you would like to hear responses from our students from? Yeah, Nora. Come on, great. The more the merrier. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having this panel. This is awesome. I'm really glad we're doing International Week here. I think it's just fabulous. I came back to Tunxis as a returning student, so I have a child now at home. I do experience income insecurity. We're on food stamps right now, but I haven't experienced like too much discrimination. Obviously, I don't have racial discrimination. Any kind of like minority status I would say being a woman, and I've learned to come into my womanhood really here on Tunxis campus. I took a class with Professor Terrell, a Women in Literature class, and it really strengthened my convictions. And I met Seth, wonderful Seth, and my relationship with Sara grew, and a lot of other friends. So any kind of, I have heard really bad like rape jokes and stuff on campus. That would be the one complaint I've had about Tunxis, which is the complaint I have about everywhere, is like just, you know, like nasty sexual comments. And I don't know if that's like youth or what it is, but that is a thing I've experienced here that's bad. But Tunxis has also taught me to have conversations. So that's the biggest thing I think that I have from Tunxis. It's like learning to have conversations and not just be afraid when I hear these remarks. It's like, let's talk about this. Why are these comments taking place? And what can we do to change that? So thank you, Tunxis. Thank you for having this time. Thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you for speaking, Nora.
Yeah.
What does the NT stand for?
NT Nurse Tech. It's St.
Oh.
Patrick's Day, and I overslept because of my son. I couldn't find anything green to wear, so I'm wearing my Nurse Tech jacket, and that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll pick on somebody else. Sara Nichols. I'm glad she mentioned you. I had forgotten about you. Sara is a poet of the first magnitude. She is gifted. She is published and has a lot to offer. So, what about Tunxis and diversity?
Hi. Thank you for the introduction. I find that, you know, a few weeks ago we had the Black Lives Matter panel here, and I'm currently working as a note taker in an introduction to college English class, and most of the people in the class are a lot younger than me. I'm 42, and it was a real eye-opener of seeing people's very, you know, strongly held beliefs and struggling not to say something because that's not my role in the class, and feeling like, how can you not see what's right in front of you? And I would agree with, you know, with what Nora said, is that it's like, while I have not heard them personally, it's like being aware of, you know, misogyny, racism, poverty. I just came from helping at the Phi Theta Kappa bake sale to help get, you know, a food pantry started here, because people are in need. And, you know, I am on food stamps too. You know, it's like, it's more month than money for food. And, you know, but somehow I managed to make it, and I know that there are people who are in far, far worse positions than I am. You know, I'm incredibly, you know, I'm very lucky. I live on the bus line. I haven't had a car for 6 years, and I get here by bus. And I don't know what I would do if I didn't live on the bus line. I'd have to make it work somehow. And, you know, thank you so much for sharing your experience, because that is so important to hear what other people are saying in this space, because we have to listen to each other. This is like, we all live here. This is like the second home. And we need to listen to the people who are our family. And thanks.
Thank you, Sara. The question to, to Leila and Brandi. Nora and Sara both talked about gender insensitivity, I guess you'd call it, sexist comments, stuff like that. Has that been a problem for you?
Not really, because I don't really interact with a lot of people here. I don't think I've heard any misogynistic comments, but I can see that it would happen. I think it would probably happen a lot here, just because for some reason, like, younger men, like, I see that they're more likely to make those rude comments, like in high school.
Brandi?
I mean, nothing too crazy. I was, one of the first days here, I was walking, some guys walking by was like, "Oh, you're valid." But I guess it's a good thing.
Well, I'm sure it was meant to be flattering. Whether it was or not, it depends on how you interpret. How about race? Experienced any pretty racist jokes or racist comments? Daniel? No. How about Chris?
That's pretty cool.
Have you said last semester you were sort of bitter and resentful?
Yeah, but not. I wasn't like racist or sexist or cruel to anyone. But no, I.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply that. I
okay.
wonder whether that was the source of your bitterness, that it was directed at you.
No, it was just a new place, new people, fear, anxiety.
Okay. Something that Sara said reminded me of an area that I also want to explore. You're taking a 6th credit English course, right?
Yes.
Okay. That means it's introductory college reading writing.
It's Comp 1.
Oh, you're taking Comp with embedded support.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is that experience working for you? Because one of the factors about community college, well, in Connecticut anyway, about community college life, is a majority of students attending a Connecticut community college have to take at least one developmental course in English or math before they can get into college credit level courses. Does the 6th credit embedded Comp with embedded support, does it
help?
Yeah.
Oh, it helps so much. The embedded support helps so much, especially for me, because I fell behind last year in Comp, and not last year. Well, yeah, last year. And I failed because I didn't have that embedded support. I didn't have that extra support or help.
Okay. Daniel, did you tend to take any developmental courses when you started Tunxis? In math or English?
No, I had to take a placement test.
Yeah, and then you placed into?
I placed into Comp 1.
Placed into Comp 1. How about math?
Nope, I took my math when I was at both of those things. So
So you didn't have this. You didn't come through the developmental sequence.
No.
Brandi, you started at Central, so you have had to take any pre-college courses, college prep courses.
I feel like the classes at Tunxis are harder than like university.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really got homework and all that when I was in university. I honestly feel like I learned more here than being at university.
And Leila, did you take any developmental English or math?
No, I didn't have to, because my SATs placed me out, so I didn't have to take the active placer.
Okay. A question. One more question. You feel like high school prepared you for college? Okay, give it to Daniel. He's got the fashion going here.
I don't know anybody else, but I went to high school in Waterbury.
Yeah.
Wilby. No.
Who set you up?
I could barely read when I left there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in my first year of college. It was bad. I was in the tutor, like the tutor rooms that I had all day.
Okay.
I wasn't. figure that all.
Okay. Chris, you had multiple high school experiences.
Yes, I had two. It's not. It's not what they say it is. It's definitely harder, it's definitely rigorous, and it's a challenge. They do say they won't help you, whereas that's the one thing they're wrong with. The teachers, professors, whatever you want to say, they help you. They truly do, and that's what I really value, because they always told me, oh, they're not going to help you. They're just numbers on a spreadsheet. No, here at least, they see you as much more.
Is this high school did not sufficiently prepare you though for?
No, it didn't really, because it's much different. It's not what they say it is.
If you could change one thing about high school, what would it be?
Me.
You're honest, I'll say.
No. Well, yeah. Me. I wish I changed faster, but definitely the way they helped you.
Okay. Brandi, did high school prepare you for college?
I can honestly say it did, in a sense, because Chester High School, they took it way too serious. Like, they treated us like babies, but then they taught us like we were in college.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And when did you also mentioned New Britain?
Oh, well, that was central.
Oh, that was the central experience. Okay, you never went to New Britain High School.
No.
How about you, Leila? Southington High School?
I think it did because it was sort of a wake-up call. I didn't do that great in high school. I didn't fail any classes, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. And so coming into college, I knew if I kept doing what I was doing in high school, I wasn't going to make it to where I wanted to be. So it gave me that push.
Okay. If you could change one thing about Tunxis, what would it be? And go under the table doesn't count.
Maybe more space in the library.
Wow, you should, you know that before the library was there, the library was here. This was the library. Yeah, this was the library. Yeah. So we have more space now than we did. So, okay. Brandi. Parking doesn't count.
Maybe a meal plan and more kind of like opportunities to get to know the people you're going to school with.
Okay. Well, you can join Carrie's Club.
She has food.
Daniel, one thing.
Probably more options for students that don't get financial aid, they don't need help paying.
Okay. And Chris,
Prices for soda and vending machines, please.
you want them to come down?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just got raised. I'm like, what? Why?
You know, this is one of my pet. Well, it's been corrected now, not necessarily in the best possible way, but it's been corrected. It used to drive me crazy. It costs more to buy a bottle of water than buy a soda.
Yeah.
Now they cost the same because they raised the price on soda, but still, yeah, that's always been a peeve of mine. I don't have to pay anything for water if I just get it out of the tap. So, yeah. But in any event, anyone else have any questions or comments you'd like to make? Olivia.
This might be a little off topic, but what is embedded support?
Oh, okay. I can explain it.
Do you want me to like talk about that?
No, it's because it's very much part of the fabric of the college, and it is a diversity issue. Like I said, most of our students place into at least one developmental course. They have to take it before they can take college credit level courses. Embedded support, basically, it's 6 credits of English, 3 credits are composition, and 3 credits are the next level down. And that's where you get the.
So you're getting both in one.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's an accurate description. Yeah, okay. And you get 6 credits, but you get through comp, and the reason we started doing it this way is because basically we had to. The state legislature, in a piece of legislation passed 2 or 3 years ago, Public Act 1240, mandated that there should be no more than 1 year of elemental education. And this is a way of getting us through that process more quickly. So that's the reason we did it. Anyone else? Yes.
I would like to compliment on the
I have taken English, no, English is my second language, and I do agree to have the foundation or the support before you take comp 101. Because I felt that high school, like before, I'm in my 30 right now, but the point is that high school teachers do, English especially, they do not prepare students enough for college writing. So when it comes to college writing, it's a total different atmosphere and everything else. So I do support the foundation of like helping students who are not at that level.
What's your first language, by the way?
It's Vietnamese.
Okay. Another diverse person. So yeah, it's I had a student one semester. Actually, he was also the editor of the student newspaper that semester, who told me that he had gone all the way through high school and never had to write an essay. Never had to write an essay. I said, "You chose your courses carefully, didn't you?" And he said, No, I just didn't have to write essays." So, the first time he had to write an essay was when he popped up in my comp class. Fortunately, he's a pretty good writer. But yeah, 4 years of high school without ever having to write a formal essay. So. Other comments? Anybody else have anything you'd like to add? Okay, well, I would like to thank our panel. Leila, Brandi, Daniel, and Chris. I told them it wouldn't be too painful. It wasn't, was it? No, it's a bunch of softballs, just to say what you want to say. So. And I thank you for participating and contributing to our International Week activities.